From the Newstalk ZB newsroom, this is Newsfix.
In this update, the stakes are high with the Ukrainian leader and US president currently holding a meeting in the White House on how to end the war in Ukraine. Donald Trump has suggested Volodymyr Zelensky will sign a, quote, very big agreement giving the US access to Ukrainian minerals in exchange for rebuilding Ukraine. It follows weeks of a frosty relationship between the pair, with the US president calling Zelensky a dictator. CNN White House correspondent Kevin Liptak says both leaders will be looking for certain guarantees.
If the U.S. and Ukraine are more financially intertwined, essentially acting as an insurance policy so that Russia doesn't go back in. But that is not at all the type of security guarantee that Zelensky wants out of this meeting.
3 people have suffered serious and critical injuries following what police believe is an altercation between neighbours in South Auckland. Police say they were called to Kutukutu Street in Takanini shortly before 8 o'clock last night. A neighbour told the New Zealand Herald they heard screaming and saw a person with a knife, while a nearby business owner claimed 3 people were stabbed with young children there at the time. Hatohona St John says 3 people were quickly taken to hospital. The suspect escaped the scene in a car but was found by the Police Eagle helicopter a short time later. Up to 100 firefighters will be on the ground today battling a major blaze in Northland's Waipua forest. Fire and Emergency New Zealand says 50% of the 100-hectare fire is contained. It's also declaring a total fire ban for Muriwhenua, Hokianga, Ripiro and the Paparoa zones of Northland from 8 a.m. today. Christopher Luxon says the school lunches program is still experiencing teething issues. The scheme's facing increasing pressure after numerous reports of delivery delays, issues around nutrition and the lack of variety of the meals. Labour's called on the Prime Minister to sack Associate Education Minister David Seymour over the repeated problems. But speaking to media in Vietnam, Luxon says that's not going to happen.
Well, look, David Seymour will work his way through those issues, and he's minister responsible for it, and I expect he will.
That's news. To sport, and a second-half fight back from Moana Pacifica has fallen short after a 31-29 defeat by the Highlanders in their Super Rugby Pacific contest in Auckland. The hosts came from 31-10 down at the break, scoring 3 tries in the second stanza to narrow the margin. Moana Pacifica captain Adi Savia says it's a heartbreaking loss in their first home game of the season.
We didn't start well, and we've talked about starting well, and we got ourselves back in the game, and we just weren't clinical enough to finish. So it's a hard pill to swallow, but honestly really proud of the boys' efforts and the physicality the boys came and showed.
Wellington Phoenix captain Alex Rufer remains confident his side can reach the A-League playoffs despite their third defeat on the trot. Their 1-0 loss to Melbourne City in the capital leaves the Knicks in 11th, 9 points outside of the top 6. That's sport. I'm Diana Vesic.
For more news, listen to Newstalk ZB live on iHeartRadio.